they're doing exploring the different kinds of feeds that he can do. One feed, multiple attacks. So in this particular case, Ishan feeds one attack. Chris will do multiples, so you can find his answers through his clock system. Now Ishan will go feed and feed twice. He feeds once, and Chris will have to deal with that. Now Ishan will feed 3 times. 1 and 2 and 3. And it's fluid motion. Okay, so
Chris, how much of this is prepared in your mind and how much of it is happening on the spot?
So what's prepared in my mind is
I mean, do you have
angle.
the same patterns all the time that you do for a low line or for a high line? Or?
I have the same initial answer. Either I'm on the inside or I'm on the outside. From there, what I follow up with is based upon where my hand lies or how I feel. If my hand falls this way, I find a comeback on any angle of the clock system that I see best.
There's
for my
improvisation in this.
There's some improvisation. There's some improvisation, but most of it is calculated. If I'm gonna snap on this side, I'm on the inside, I go to the outside, cut through, exit on 11. If I'm on the inside, say I was on the inside here, knife tap, oh, he moved, open up, exit on 1. Boom, cut, open up again on 1. Jazz me here, I stab on 5, open up, feed me another strike, whoop, swoop, cut. Over top, underneath, inside jam, pass on the outside.
These guys have been doing it for a while. I imagine if this is something new to you, that's a great place to explore and, you know, improvise and find new things.
You learn the basics first. So once again, it's like learning a numbering system, right? You learn how to count from 1 to 10 and then 1 to 100. And you start mixing up different numbers. Same thing as this. So in this particular game, Ishan is doing a question and answer. I'll transfer over, right? So I'm asking Chris, okay, Chris, if I deliver one question answer, what happens if I give you this question in here? Pam, then he gives me his answer. Okay, but what if the question lies here and then there's another follow-up question to this and Chris just answers to that? In this question, you hit this other thing over here and he just answers. He thinks about it, he thinks about the angle, then he finishes the answer. Bam. So here's my question, follow up by a different question, and this is another question. He gives me different answers. So this is like a question and answer, but we're not trying to argue. And that's the difference, right? It's a conversation because I'm trying to learn. I'm asking, well, what if there's this entry into that entry into this entry? Then Chris will think about it. Well, if there's here into this into that, then he'll direct it this way. So there's no right or wrong. There's only exploration. That's what we're always talking about. If I'm in this particular grip, Chris, I come in here, you do that. Okay, now watch. When I come in here, I hook and I cut you this way. So Chris comes out here and I'll hook and I'll cut you this way. Then he's got to come up with an answer doing that way. Is it right or wrong? There's no right or wrong. It's whoever does what they do best, first, and better than the other person.
So you guys have had many conversations.
A lot of conversations.
So can we see an example of a non-verbal conversation? Like what level are you guys at right now? Okay.
So my questions to him were here and here and here, and what you would do. I'm not trying to hurt him. I want to bring out things from him. And then the final things he wants to finish, he just takes care of that. So the non-verbal thing is I find a way where I grab and he just automatically goes in there and destroys me. See, because there's no resistance given to that. And the whole point here is it real? Guys, none of this is real. This is training. This is enjoying the art form. Once again, there are 3 facets of it. Martial art encompasses everything. Within that martial art, to make it realistic, you want to have a reality-based training within that martial art. But you also have to have a self-defense, which is, okay, here's the stimulus of this attack. His self-defense is how to do it this way. Boom. If I want to make a realistic blade, then I start pushing and hitting, and then he attacks and everything. That's more real because now we're going to amp up with a lot of adrenaline and stress and everything else, screaming and everything else. But then again, we talk about the art form. In the end, that after we deliver our strikes in here, we do this. We're friends, we're buddies. Everybody walks away, integrity, honor, enjoying what they did. And that's a whole martial art that encompasses all these different facets of training.
That's important for you to not just be like, because you know, in firearms training, in certain different martial arts, it's all about everything needs to be reality based. Train how you fight, fight how you train.
If it's reality based in firearms, then how is it that they're shooting at a paper target that's not shooting back? Where's the reality in that?
Yeah, and you know, there are still people who comment on videos that say paper targets don't shoot back.
Well, of course, because it's about safety. But do you ever question a bullet that ever hits somebody when they're not prepared for it or when it's not coming, right? Or even if they're prepared for it. That's why a paper target there is for that you express yourself perfectly. And if you hit that perfect target that even doesn't shoot back, but you're trained to do that later on, then you've accomplished something. You can hit something like a marksman, but same thing with weapons. It's the same training. I'm not out here to put crazed people. I'm out here to go up with the way of the blade, way of the weapons of Kali that we enjoy. Nothing more than that. When we train the military, different story. The military doesn't need to have all these other things of integrity and honor, and they have a mission to accomplish, so we weed out all the other stuff. When you work with law enforcement, it's to protect and serve. It's no kill in there. Then when it comes to security programs, once again, the same thing, safety and security. It's to make sure that the persons that they're accosting or they have to reprimand has to be safe for them too. And then you have the civilian populace where you can't use the spirit. It's a practice of the art, so that if you are faced with these things, you know what to do. But the number one thing is never get into this situation to begin with through awareness and everything else. Learn the disease so you can cure it.